Good evening, everyone. I'm really glad to be here, and it is my pleasure to share with you information about Lingzhi. The topic of today is Lingzhi, the magic food is all you need for your healthier life. We will talk about how the effective and comprehensive benefits with Lingzhi bring to our health, and instruct you about the usage of Lingzhi. I hope that my sharing today will be helpful to you. Firstly, according to the most ancient book about Chinese medicine in the Chinese history, Lingzhi is non-toxic herb that you can take as many as you want to prolong your life. Based on another Chinese herbal book, having the most important influence to the world, taking Lingzhi is beneficial to your heart, to your liver, kidneys, joint, skin, brain, and all the other organs in your body. And it also improves your sleep quality. All in all, it brings you the most attractive effect of anti-aging. In the past, Lingzhi naturally grew in the forest, and the picking and collection of the herb was very difficult and ever-consuming, which made it extremely expensive. As a result, only the royal family and the emperors were able to have this herb. Thanks to the advanced technology today, we can cultivate Lingzhi in a computerized greenhouse and make it readily accessible to everyone. What has been remained unchanged for more than 2,000 years is that Lingzhi has been a very valuable and precious herb with efficacy recognized by the Chinese medicine book in China and America. The modern science has found that the fruiting body of Lingzhi has numerous active components, such as polysaccharide, ganoderic acid, nucleoside, immunomodulatory proteins, steroid, and the like. For example, polysaccharide can improve the immune system to fight against the cancers and enhance antioxidant effect. Ganoderic acid are able to protect the livers and kidneys from injury and directly kill the cancer cells. Nucleoside can cure the motor neuron disease caused by the abnormal immunity and improve sleep quality as a sedative, and even be used as a pain reliever. You may refer to the slide for more detailed benefits for taking Lingzhi. Based on the above, Lingzhi has a comprehensive function that will bring an all-over positive effect to your body. The most noteworthy efficacy of Lingzhi comes from the two key components, that is, polysaccharide and the ganoderic acid. For the first example, polysaccharide can modulate blood pressure, lipid, sugar, and the ganoderic acid can protect heart. And the second example, polysaccharide can modulate immune system for anti-inflammation. And the ganoderic acid has direct effect of anti-inflammation of allergy and autoimmune disease. Thirdly, polysaccharide can strengthen the immune system to fight against cancers and viruses. And ganoderic acid can kill cancer cells and immediately inhibit virus activity. As illustrated with all the said examples, the two components can work together to maximize the healthcare benefits. For each individual, Lingzhi takes care of your health from the childhood to adulthood, and it is suitable to act as the family health protector. As a result, Lingzhi possesses the comprehensive function that can provide wholesome care for all ages and to everyone. We will then share with you several serious or mild diseases that you or your family and friends may have. First of all, it is the immune system disorder. In our body, it is troublesome if the immune system works too low or actively. In the case of an overactive immune system, allergic symptoms may occur, while infection may happen under the circumstance of low immunity. The symptoms I just mentioned are mild. In the serious situation, autoimmune disease and cancers come into play. Let's start with the allergic disease caused by overactive immunity. You may have heard of asthma and atopic dermatitis, allergic rhinitis, and hives. When our body has contact with allergens, discomfort may happen. In most of the time, these allergens such as croissants, peanuts, fish, egg, gluten, mollusks have no harm to our body. However, if your immune system works overactively, inflammation reaction will occur. The symptoms of the above-mentioned allergic disease, including wheezing and shortness of breath, and the rashes in many forms, a runny or stunning nose, and red, itchy, and the rest areas of skin. In our immune system, if our immune system works overactively, it will result in more serious autoimmune disease, such disease mostly can be found in persons aged 20 to 40. SLE is an autoimmune disease particularly common in the female group. On the other hand, AS is usually happens to the male. As for the RA and the other autoimmune disease, they attack both the female and male. This disease poses a significant threat to our health. To illustrate, overactive immunity will attack our skin, and cause butterfly rash on the cheek, and in more serious case, it will cause kidney failure, both of which are called SLE. Some of the more common symptoms of the AS, including pain in the lower back and lips. These symptoms may develop gradually over several weeks or months, be more severe in the morning and during the night. The overactive immune system associated with RA is what can damage many parts of the body as well. The most typical symptoms of RA are tender, warm, and swollen joints. We can see from this paper that Lingzhi can inhibit inflammation of allergies or autoimmune disease, such as SLE, RA, and Crohn's disease, by modulating the immune system. In the following paper in the slide, we are going to share with you the relevant information on the voluminous data, which had been collected for a long time, before the review papers were published. Thus, these papers are widely accepted and credible. From the following study, you can see that Yangkan Lingzhi is proved to have the result of improving allergic and autoimmune disease. This research indicates Yangkan Lingzhi can fight against airway allergic inflammation by downregulating Th2 cells. There are Th1 and Th2 cells in T helper cells. The allergy symptoms are induced by too many Th2 cells. Lingzhi can directly inhibit generation of Th2 cells, which may improve inflammation of airway allergy. This picture shows a healthy airway without accumulation of inflammatory cells, and the airway tissues are relatively thin. The other picture shows a seriously allergic airway. You can see there are a lot of inflammatory cells accumulating. And the airway tissues are relatively thick. After using a high dosage of Yangkan Lingzhi, The picture here shows the cells had recovered to the status as a healthy airway. This study indicates Yangtian Lingzhi can solve the autoimmune problems and prolong the life of mice. As you can see, the survival rate of mice without taking Yangtian Lingzhi is 29 weeks. On the contrary, the survival rate of those mice fed with Yangtian Lingzhi is more 43 weeks. In conclusion, Lingzhi improves allergic disease and autoimmune disease by modulating the immune system cells, including T cell, B cell, dendritic cells, natural killer cells, and so on. Due to the modulation, Lingzhi can enhance the body's capability of anti-tumor. So now we are moving forward to the products to the infection and cancer problems resulting from low immunity. Respiratory and digestive system act as essential receivers of the body for outside air and food, whether they are from good or bad sources. Therefore, infection occurs in the situation of low immunity, such as flu and enteroviral disease. The symptom caused by flu usually contains fever, aching muscle, fatigue, weakness, and other common lingering discomfort. The enteroviral disease symptoms contain inflammation in the throat, red rash on the skin, and blister on the part of the limbs. Lot of evidence shows Lingzhi constituents such as polysaccharide and ganoderic acid have the effect of antibacterial and antivirus. Therefore, they can fight against infectious disease. Furthermore, with chemotherapeutic medicine that has been used to treat chronic infectious disease, such as chronic hepatitis and bronchitis. So let's talk about the inflammation of bronchi and lung, which is pneumonia. Chronic inflammation often happens among the groups with low immunity, such as kids and the elder people. The symptom of pneumonia contains cold, coughing up with yellow mucus, chest pains, fever, shaking chills, shortness of breath, and repeat infection. That also causes high fatality rate in the elder people. Pneumonia can be very dangerous. There is a lot of evidence indicating that ganoderic acid and polysaccharide, the major constituent of Lingzhi, were found able to induce various anti-inflammatory activities, especially in lung. Anti-inflammatory components of Lingzhi further have the anti-cancer ability. So we just talked about the low immunity can cause not only infection but also cancer. As you can see in the picture, there are a lot of cancer disease. Lung cancer, bile cancer, liver cancer, and prostate cancer are common for the male. Breast cancer, lung cancer, bile cancer, ovary, and the uterus cancer are common for the female. Those are general cancer disease in many countries. That means all the above-mentioned cancer disease have a significant impact on many people's health. One of the reasons for causing these cancers, there is no commonly agreed conclusion, but there are some identified risk factors for cancers. For example, diet, genes, stress, and environmental pollution. If you often eat fried, sausage, or grilled food, or food containing too much sugar, it raises the risk of getting cancer disease. And if your parents or brothers and sisters have gotten cancers before, the possibility for you getting cancer is higher. The development of all kinds of cancer is the same. the cancer cells mutate from the normal cells, and cancer cells have no function but grow rapidly in an uncontrollable manner. The tumor will develop new blood vessels to steal nutrients from the normal cells of angiogenesis. When tumors are big enough, we will call it carcinoma in situ. The tumor spreads from the primary site to a secondary site, and that is called metastasis. In this stage, to cure the cancer disease would be more difficult. So, if we can take notice of any abnormal signs or symptoms as early as we can, it will be helpful. The signs and symptoms depending on whether the cancer cells attack, how big the tumor is, and how much they affect the organs or tissues. If a cancer has spread, the signs or symptoms appear in different parts of the body. Let's take a look at what symptoms would occur. A cancer may cause symptoms like fever, no appetite, extreme tightness, weight loss, a lump or thickening, pain, or unusual bleeding. But sometimes the cancer happens to the place that won't cause any signs or symptoms until it has grown to a quite large size. Cancer of the pancreas, for example, usually don't cause any symptoms until they grow large enough to press on nearby nerves or organs. This causes back or belly pains. Others may grow around the bile duct and block the flow of bile. This causes the eyes and skin to look yellow. But when the pancreatic cancers cause the signs or symptoms like this, usually it will be a terminal cancer. In the less optimistic condition of the patient, there is a lot of evidence supporting the efficacy of using Lingzhi for cancer treatment. Obviously, Lingzhi can inhibit the activity of cancer cells through its multiple target shooting functions. Those functions including inhibiting cancer cell proliferation, killing cancer cells, inhibiting tumor growth, anti-angiogenesis, and anti-metastasis. Furthermore, Lingzhi can prolong life and improve quality of life. It is helpful for many patients and bring them another good option. We have finished the part of immune system disorder. Now we will talk about metabolism disease like obesity, high blood sugar, high blood lipid, and high blood pressure. Firstly, what is the definition of obesity? We can check it by body mass index, which is known as the BMI. The calculation formula is dividing your weight in kilogram by your height in meter. If BMI is over 30, it is defined as obesity. We should pay special attention to abdominal obesity. If the waist measures over 90 centimeters for the male and over 18 centimeters for the female, that means the organs have already accumulated too much visceral fat. For those people, they have a higher risk to get serious cardiovascular disease. What we call high blood sugar, lipid, and pressure. In the regular physiology, pancreas regularly secretes insulin to lower blood sugar. But if you often have a diet with high fat and high sugar food, pancreas will be overloaded, and then it could not secrete enough insulin to lower blood sugar. The blood sugar will surge. If you eat high fat and cholesterol food very often, that fat may accumulate in blood vessels, so that the blood lipid and cholesterol may become too high. There are two main types of cholesterol, that is, high-density lipoprotein, the so-called HDL, and low-density lipoprotein, the so-called LDL. HDL is known as a good cholesterol because it transports cholesterol to your liver to be expelled from your body. HDL helps your body to get rid of excessive cholesterol, so it's less likely to end up accumulating in your arteries. The LDL is called bad cholesterol because it takes cholesterol into your arteries, which will cause aggravation of the inflammation cells in the artery walls. Too much fat and cholesterol in your arteries may lead to inflammation and congestion in the blood vessel and build up of plaque known as sclerosis. High blood sugar and lipid both may lead to vascular sclerosis, and that will raise the blood pressure. The cause of high blood pressure including stress, but it can happen spontaneously, or it can result from kidney disease. Once there is any abnormal blood situation, it will further raise the risk of getting fatal cardiovascular disease. There is a lot of evidence proving that Lingzhi can reduce obesity by modulating the gut microbiota. A lot of studies indicate that human gut has much beneficial flora. It may improve the metabolism to reduce the weight. A lot of evidence showing that many biologic active constituents of Lingzhi, such as polysaccharide, immunomodulatory proteins, ganoderic acid, were proved to be capable of lowering the blood sugar. The paper indicating Lingzhi can reduce triglyceride cholesterol and low-density lipoprotein cholesterol and increase high-density lipoprotein cholesterol in diabetic rates. It is worth to mention that there are almost no food capable of raising the HDL, but we can see that Lingzhi has very good efficacy in this regard. And the paper showing that Lingzhi extract can be a good source of hypotensive peptides like angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors, which is also known as the ACEI. The ACEI is an anti-hypertensive medicine. In conclusion, Lingzhi can fight against a lot of metabolic disease, including obesity, hyperglycemia, hyperlipidemia, and hypertension. Now, we will start to talk about vital cardiovascular disease, such as ischemic heart disease and stroke. In ischemic heart disease, the arteries that supplies blood to your heart muscles become narrowed. This can keep necessary blood from reaching to your heart muscle and cause the heart damage. There are two types of stroke. They are ischemic and hemorrhagic strokes. The incidence rate of ischemic stroke is higher than the other. It is about 80%. Both ischemic heart disease and stroke are fatality worldwide. Because when the disease occurred, it is very critical for the patient to get instant medical treatment. If not, it will be life-threatening. So, if you or your family or friends have following signs of symptoms like chest pains, shortness of breath, cold sweating, and pale skin, they should be careful to the potential heart disease. And if you have the symptoms such as paralysis of any part of body, walking trouble, loss of balance and coordination ability, headache, vision change, slurred speech, or inability to understand speeches, you should get a further medical check as soon as possible. You should be careful to the potential stroke. So, can Lingzhi prevent or cure the injury to our heart and brains? The answer is yes. This study points out pretreatment of young Lingzhi can reduce injury in the myocardial cells resulting from an overloaded heart. Let's look at this picture. The experimental model imitates the situation of overloaded and ischemic human heart by using the mice heart, treated with isopropanoid medicine. This experiment resulted in relation to the pretreatment of young Lingzhi, show that it can protect the heart from injuries. The enlarged image gives you a quick look at the evidence. You can see that the heart tissue with the treatment of young Lingzhi have smoother texture than those without such treatment. And this paper shows pretreatment of Lingzhi can increase antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effect to protect the brain from ischemic injury. Because the evidence proves that Lingzhi prevents the damage to the heart and brain, and it also indicates Lingzhi is a usable supplement to keep the human body healthy. The last part of the disease section today is about the common liver and kidney disease, such as fatty liver, hepatitis, and chronic kidney disease. A fatty liver may be found not only in the overweight people, but also in the skinny people. Eating too much high fat and high sugar food, the fat will easily accumulate in our organs, including livers. The viral hepatitis is commonly seen disease in Asia. Both fatty liver and hepatitis B or C may result in chronic liver inflammation and further cause the GOT and the GPT measurement to surge. This study indicates that by acting as a prebiotic to modulate gut mycobacteria, Lingzhi can fight against obesity and fatty liver resulting from high-fat diet. The picture shows the liver tissues. The liver tissues are stained with red oil. With more red spot, it means there is more fat accumulated in the livers. The liver tissues of the mice fed with high-fat diet were found with more red spot. By contrast, the red spot reduced in the liver tissues of those mice fed with high-fat diet plus a low, mid, or high dose of Lingzhi. Apparently, the research shows that Lingzhi can improve a fatty liver. This paper shows Lingzhi can inhibit hepatitis B and C virus activities and replication of the virus thereof to protect the livers from the inflammation. And one of the papers was about an experiment of using young Lingzhi to inhibit hepatitis C virus. Let's talk about the kidney disease, including polycystic kidney caused by genes, chronic kidney disease caused by hypertension, autoimmune disease, or other chronic disease, and kidney stone, and so on. Those kidney disease may bring about kidney inflammation and lead to increase in the blood urea nitrogens, blood creatinine, protein urea, and hematuria. The symptoms of kidney disease including edema, hypertension, anemia, and fatigue. Lots of animal studies indicate that Lingzhi protects the kidney from injury. Moreover, the clinical study also show the same result. At the end of this part, in conclusion, Lingzhi fruiting body contains all the key components, especially ganoderic acid and polysaccharide. All evidence indicate the most important effect come with Lingzhi, including immunomodulatory, anti-infection, anti-allergy, fighting against or improving autoimmune disease, tumors and metabolic disease and anti-metabolic disease, including obesity and cardiovascular disease. Lingzhi was also proved to be effective in protecting the liver and kidneys from injuries and preventing the deadly disease like cancer, stroke, and heart disease. Lingzhi is always an excellent fighter against any kind of disease. Without any doubt, Lingzhi can take care of the whole family's health. Lingzhi possesses the comprehensive function of providing the wholesome care for all age and to everyone. Unfortunately, not every Lingzhi product in the market was effective for the human body. According to the statistics collected in the United States, up to 60% of all the Lingzhi products in the market may fail to contain ganoderic acid, and up to 70% of the product was without polysaccharide. Therefore, a safe Lingzhi product with both mentioned key components is very rare in the current market. A high-quality Lingzhi product can only be produced by advanced technology and well-developed production process. The Yangkan Lingzhi is produced by the following steps. Firstly, function species cultivation and identification. Secondly, fruiting body grow in the computerized greenhouse and will be certified for the required amount of the active component. Thirdly, extraction and concentrations of ganoderic acid and polysaccharide. Lastly, the extract will be made into powder by the rapid vacuum freeze drying system before becoming the finished good. Before the delivery, the Yangkan Lingzhi product will go through the quality control procedure for safety and efficacy confirmation. The safety test is to ensure the products are free of microbial contamination and heavy metal pollution. As for the efficacy test, conduct to ensure there are sufficient key ingredient of ganoderic acid and the polysaccharide in the Yangkan Lingzhi product. The test standard adopted by our company for the ganoderic acid and the polysaccharide are higher than the established by the Taiwan government to ensure the product will work effectively all the times. The Yangkan Lingzhi has obtained a variety of certifications, such as Taiwan Quality Food, Taiwan Health Food, Halal Food, and the Japan Health Food, and the production process for the product has satisfied the requirement of the International Organization for Standardization. Based on the above facts, the Yangkan Lingzhi products are world-class premium products. The products are excellent health supplements for the human body. Now we have some basic instructions for how to use the products. When should you use the product to bring out the maximum effect? We suggest that they be taken before meal. You can see in the picture which shows Lingzhi can be instantly absorbed and without any interference from other food if taken before meal. So Lingzhi will work more effectively if taken before meal. And how many should you take? The answers are different for the following two groups I will discuss. For the first group, who take Lingzhi to keep them healthy for regular health care and are without any special situation, they can take Lingzhi as instructed by the packing labels. For the other group who desire to improve their special body condition, like dreadful illness or disease, they can take Lingzhi in sufficient amount. What does the sufficient amount mean? It means that the dosage which is sufficient to bring out improvement to your illness or disease. It is a positive progress or the so-called healing crisis. For instance, if you eat poison, will you be dead? Many people will say yes without any hesitation. But the answer may not be entirely correct. It depends on how much you have taken. If you drink up a whole bottle of poison, you will get killed. However, eating fruit with pesticide remaining later on, it will not cause us damage to your body as the previous case will do. The sad example illustrates the notion of the sufficient amount. In our opinion, if you want to improve the special health condition, you need to take Lingzhi to the extent that it starts to bring out improvement or reaction to your body. Next, we will explain what the healing crisis is. Healing crisis is a positive impact on your health, but it might be uncomfortable because our bodies are like battlefields where the healthy cells fight against the illness cells, and such battles inside your body are likely to make you feel uncomfortable. In addition, from the ancient people's experiences, the disease will be healed when the healing crisis occurs. So the healing crisis shouldn't be called a side effect as what is caused by the chemical medicine. Chemical medicine is toxic, although it may relieve the symptom immediately, but it would also generate the other organs problems. The unwelcome result caused by medicine is called as the side effect. On the other hand, Lingzhi is totally non-toxic, and Lingzhi can solve the health problem from its origin in the healing process. And in the healing process, it may induce some uncomfortable reaction, which is called as the healing crisis. The final suggestion is that Lingzhi should be taken with the pollen. Lingzhi and pollen play different roles in healing process. Lingzhi works like pills to direct cure disease, and the pollen is like albumin drip feeding treatment that continuously supplies the nutrient and the energy to the body. So if Lingzhi and the pollen can be taken together, it can bring out the efficacy to the maximum. Before signing off, I would like to share the exciting information with you. That is, Lingzhi products are always in the evolution progress. In the past, its efficacy had been documented for the past 2,000 years. Now, its comprehensive function of healthcare has been supported by much science evidence. In the future, a great breakthrough in the Lingzhi product utilizing the biological technology is foreseeable in the near future. Lingzhi has been a previous gift from Mother Nature, and you can keep exploring its magic healing effect. Finally, thank you for your attention. I hope that you have enjoyed tonight's seminar and have a great night. See you next time. Thank you.